So sexy, so sexy, so sexy, so sexy.
DJ Omega here with another video on the Chauvet 4Play. Some things I've kind of found out as I was playing around with it. On the back of each light there's kind of like a small kind of DMX dip switch. It only has 4 little toggle switches, thus for the 4 lights. So as you can see over here, the first toggle is on, so this being number 1 makes that image. But if I take this one and make it number 1 also, as you can see, it will reproduce that same pattern. So what's nice about this is you can set all of them to the same channel if you want to, so that they all do the same thing, and that way you don't even have to hook it up to a DMX controller. It gives you a little bit more added control with that. In the same respect, if you want to have the first one and the third one do the same thing, and the second and the fourth do the same thing, you can certainly program that also. So just a little added feature there that I saw that I thought was pretty interesting. A couple questions on the previous product review video that I'd like to discuss here. Let's see, DJ Dice 19 asked me if I could ship this 4Play to him. I wish I could, but I still need to do videos on it, so I appreciate you watching. Then Slow J Da Team asked me if I could review a Q spot. I currently do not have a Q spot to review, but if I did come across one, I would certainly do that for you. Anatime Dream asked, can each individual light come off the bar so they can be used separately, either as a wash light or like a truss warmer, that sort of thing. And while you can basically disconnect the light from here, the problem is this connector, basically, I don't know if you can see in there, but basically it's a 3-pin connector, so you wouldn't be able to plug this directly into a power outlet and use the light separately. Also, all the built-in programs and that are controlled from the main housing unit, so you wouldn't be able to do that to use these lights separately. It kind of sticks with the main brains of the bar. And another question by DJ Cyro, he was kind of talking about, you know, if you remove the lens, will it provide a nice wash light? So the lens on the front of the light here, flip that around. So if we remove that part there, will you have more of a wash light versus the dots and the rings? So what I did, and I'm just going to move the camera here, is on this light here, and basically there are 3 screws that hold the front part of the housing together, so I just kind of undid 2 of those and then tipped it down. So we'll see what type of light it produces on the wall. So as you can see there, oh, wonderful sound active. There we go. So you can see blue rings from the 3rd one, and the 4th one here without the lens is providing a blue wash on the wall. So you can certainly take the lens out and use it as a wash light if you want to. You can either take this entire front housing off, or you can take the lens out of it, put this housing back on. So either way, it'll give you a nice shot at that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unplug it, and then we'll take a look in there, because everybody wants to see the LEDs and all the electronics. So we will do that right after this. Alright, so I reversed the light here so we can take a look inside. That's what the light looks like if it was all put together. But like I said, I removed those two screws. So you can see the little LED pod inside there. I'm going to turn the light off here so you can take a closer look without blinding the camera. So basically your little LED pod there. Now the flashing red light you see is the year recording light on my camera, so just ignore that. So you could actually have the light like that. The LED pod sits deep enough inside that it would be fairly well protected, even if you didn't have the lens on the front. So if you want to use this as a wash light, you certainly can do that. The other thing is, if you want to have two of these be a wash light and two of them be kind of the dots ring motion effect, you can certainly do that too. So it's a lot of flexibility you have by kind of modifying it and playing with the light. I just want to show here how the typical way to mount this light is using that hole that runs through the housing unit, pinches onto your truss. But the nice thing that Chauvet added, in case you didn't want to have it in this configuration, if you wanted to put it up on a full truss, is they have mounting bolts, one on each side, that run all the way through the housing unit. So you can bolt this fixture directly to your truss. Now the only problem with that is you're not able to adjust where these holes are, so they have to line up exactly with your truss, or you have to do a little modification and drill holes into your truss where you're going to place them. So this is a nice feature that if you wanted to, if you think of this as your speaker stand, so the speaker sits on top of here, if you didn't want this kind of going horizontal there, you could tip it vertical and run it around down the shaft of your stand so that everything would look nice and clean. So I want to use that, and I'll probably use that in future gigs. The only issue I'll have to do is a little bit of modification, because when this bolt goes through, I would normally put a O-clamp up here, and then I could clamp it to the truss wherever I wanted to. The only problem with this bolt is it's only threaded down here at the bottom. And if you're familiar with the O-clamps just have a real short bolt that sticks out of the clamp that goes around the stand. So you'd have to have a little bracket to use this bolt that would then bolt into your O-clamp. So this is probably a do it from scratch Mikey Mike type of thing, but you would have to do a little bit of modification, but shouldn't be too tough there. And then you'd have even greater versatility using O-clamps on each side to mount this 4-play vertically. So I hope this video answered a few of the questions that you may have had and showed you some extra kind of added features that you wouldn't typically read in a product manual for this 4-play light. Again, this is DJ Omega. Make sure you like my Facebook page. It's YouTube DJ Omega, so you don't miss out on any of the extra fun going on Facebook. So I will put the link in the description, and hope to see you a fan of that page. We're doing some fun stuff there, and then also in future videos here. So again, I want to thank Chauvet for sending me this light to review. If you guys have any other questions or any other videos you'd like to see with this light, let me know, and I'll do my best to get a video that shows you and answers the questions that you have. So, alright, take care guys.